Once again, here's the spreadsheet we developed as our answer for additional question 4 for Unit 4. If you don't remember how we got it, check back to the recorded segment for that question. We invest $5,000 at 5%, but get charged a management fee of $100 each year. In this case, we end up with $6,654 at the end of 9 years. As an alternative, we could invest the $5,000 at 4% and not get charged a fee. In making the calculations, we find out that things work out better in that case. In the previous questions, we've tried to equalize these two by changing first the percentage earned. If we earn less of a percentage return here, we get a smaller result in the end, and if it's small enough, we get down to exactly $66.54. Another possibility is to get charged a lower management fee. If the management fee is lower, this amount goes up. And if it goes down low enough, if the management fee goes down to about $58, this rises up to $7,117 and matches the no fee case. In this question, we're going to do something substantially trickier. That is, instead of changing either the management fee or the percentage return, we'll change how much we invest. So far, we've been looking at an investment of $5,000 in two different ways to see how it comes out. Suppose instead we invested $4,000. In this case, would the results come out the same? They're not the same at the end. But you may notice that they actually are a little bit, or seem to be, a little bit closer than they were before. Are they closer or not? It's hard to tell. So here's our first trick. Let's see how close the numbers are at the end by subtracting and seeing how close the answer is to 0. Here's the difference between the results at the end. I'm going to subtract, and actually the order doesn't matter here. Now I can tell immediately that these two answers are $591 apart. Let's remember that $591 and go back to $5,000. Well, the initial impression was wrong. When we invest $4,000, we end up $591 apart. When we invest $5,000, we end up less apart, only $463 apart. It looks like the more money we invest, the closer together we get. Let's try one more by trial and error. We'll put in $6,000 here and $6,000 again. Now how far apart are we? Only 335. What we'd really like is for this number to be 0. If these two are 0 apart, they're exactly the same number. Our last problem to overcome is that it's hard to change this number and this number separately. First of all, it's hard for us to do it manually. Second of all, it makes it impossible for us to use goal seek. So here's the second trick. Let's put our investment amount here and simply copy it into these two locations. Our starting amount here will be equal to this amount here, and our starting amount here will also be equal to this amount here. Now we can change both by changing just one spot. If we change this to 7,000, both of these change to 7,000, and we get down to just 207. The remainder is easy. We goal seek this amount down here to what we wish, which is 0, by changing the amount we invest. It turns out that if we invest $8,613, the difference at the end is 0, and we end up with the same amounts.